welcome to Christie's Corner, where we talk about culture, conservatism, Christianity, and common sense. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you to my subscribers. You guys rock. Hey, if you like what you see so far, maybe give me a thumbs up. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I thank you. And I would ask that you would consider giving me a share and subscribe. So glad y'all are here. Hope you're having a great day, great evening, great afternoon, whenever, wherever you're listening to me from. Hey, I just tried to do this at 6 p.m. and I got kicked out. So I said some no words, I suppose. And I'm going to try and do it again without those words. I've got a few corrections I needed to make. I was talking about Tisha B'Av last week, and I said that it was a 17-day observance, and I was wrong. It's actually from the 17th of Tammuz through the 9th of Av. Tammuz is on the Hebrew calendar July, and Av is on our calendar August. Hebrew calendar Tammuz. Anyway, you know what I mean. That's their July, our August. It's from the 17th through the 9th, and it's an observance for the Jewish population to reflect and think about the times that God has punished them as a nation. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because what I said before got me kicked out, and I need my beret. I left my beret out. Anyway, so Candace Owens' necklace, this is not a big correction. I wanted to say, though, I'm not trying to disparage her in any way. She's a great voice for the conservative movement. She's done a lot of work for us. But I'm kind of heartbroken by her turning on Israel. I support Israel. I've said it many times. And I have a lot of reasons for that, but mainly Genesis 12:3. I will bless those who bless thee and curse those who curse thee. And for her so she had a necklace, and I started talking about my necklace last week. That's what I'm correcting. She had a necklace that said Ima, which means mommy, just like Abba means daddy. And when they asked Jesus how to pray, Jesus said, pray like this: our Father in heaven, our Father who art in heaven. And the word he uses there is Abba, daddy. So when she turned against Israel, it was just kind of heartbreaking for me. So that was one. And then the last one was vote for Kamala. How in the world could I say vote for Kamala? Hi, bear with me. Glad you're here, honey. Help me out. he's not joining me on this one. I see I've got chairs in the background. I should have done something about that, huh? Anyway, so vote for Kamala. At the end of my stream last week, I said, Trump, 2024, we're getting close to communism. We got to be sure and vote for Kamala. And Troy sent me a text right away. You just said vote for Kamala. And I didn't mean that. I meant vote for Trump. Hey, Troy, if you wouldn't mind, would you bring me my beret? I'll tell you where it's at if you come in here. That means he's on the other room. So, or you know what? I can just do this. There we go. Never mind. Got it. Okay, so that was my corrections from last week. And I did want to talk about seriously this quote. I wanted to get it right. We can't expect the American people to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving them small doses of socialism until one day they will awaken to find they have communism. And I'm just asking, isn't that what we are seeing right now? Isn't that exactly what we're experiencing? Do you kind of feel like you're the frog in the proverbial pot of water boiling? Do you see it anywhere? He came in to help me out with my hair. I don't know what I did with it. Okay, no, never mind. So hopefully I can edit that out later. Anyway, do you feel like you are the frog in the proverbial pot of water where they are bringing up the heat? Little by little, they're turning this country into a communist country. And I don't even know how much of that I can say. So I'm going to be careful with that. And isn't that funny? Okay, guys, this is driving me nuts. Oh, gosh. Okay, we'll do that. They say every 4 years, this is the most important election of your lifetime. This is the most important election of your lifetime. I want to put something in your thoughts here. This could very well be the last election of our lifetimes. I want you to think about that. If you think it's hyperbolic, if you think I'm exaggerating, just talk to a Venezuelan. I was in Colombia in 2018, and I talked to a missionary worker down there, and she was working the border between Venezuela and Colombia, and she was absolutely horrified with what's going on. Venezuela was a very wealthy country. It was an oil and gas country. Hugo Chavez and people before him started talking about, communism got real popular in the 90s in South America and Central America, especially. Anyway, Hugo Chavez started telling all the people, oh, those oil companies, they're just making all their money. Oh, thank you, darling. Look what he found. What a sweetheart. Hugo Chavez started saying, those oil companies, they are just making all their money off the backs of the poor. There we go. Now I got a face. Sorry about that, y'all. They're making all their money off the backs of the poor. We got to kick those oil companies out of here. We got to get them out of here. We got to take care of our people. And he just did all of the same exact things that we're doing right now, demonizing the rich, demonizing the capitalist system. And they voted him in. Everybody wanted more money. Everybody had kind of forgotten. They didn't realize how wealthy the country was in the 80s. They voted him in, and he was a communist. And within one of the first things he did was kick the oil companies out of Venezuela. And what did that do? It cut off their income stream. Now they had no money. Now they had no money coming in. So what happens next? No food. The grocery store shelves begin to get emptier and emptier. Stories started coming out. It's a little crass, but there was no toilet paper available for the public. Nobody could find toilet paper. Guarantee you the elites. I bet Chavez had his toilet paper. Anyway, Maduro comes in after him with more of the same. It gets even worse. And it got to the point that the people were so hungry and had overhunted the animals, so much so, and especially in the city where there's not the animals aren't available. They were breaking into zoos and stealing the animals to feed their family. It's heart-wrenching. Communism has never worked, people. It's never worked. And we are so close to that now. It may not just be the most important election ever. It could be the last. Okay, scoffers. Let's talk about scoffing. Scoffing is a very rough word. It means to mock, jeer, treat with contempt or derision. It's a terrible word. But how many of us, and I'm used the word scoffing because that's how I felt I was like, there's no way. How many of us had thought that RFK would never drop out of the race? Not that he wouldn't drop out of the race, but he certainly never endorsed Trump. And yet here we are. He drops out Friday and gives in my opinion, one of the best political speeches I've ever heard. Of course, the topics were very near and dear to my heart. Better food, better health, less censorship, or no censorship, no big government, return the government to the people. It was an amazing speech on Friday. So here he goes, dropping out and supporting Trump. What an amazing. I am so pumped about this, you guys. I can't say it. I started to put a video up Friday and it just sucks so bad I took it down. But I'm so excited about this. And here's one of the things. So technically, he's still running for president in all of the states except the 10 swing states. Him and Trump talked about it, and they decided that in those swing states, he would have cost Trump the election. So he pulled himself off the ballot there. They were surprised to find how much they were in alignment on political things, definitely in disagreement on many, many things. But they lined up on the military and the forever wars. They want to stop the forever wars. They line up on big ag and big farm. I don't want to use the right words there. That we've got to do something about this. When Robert said, make America healthy again, what mother doesn't want to make sure that her food is clean and pure and good for her children? What father doesn't want the ability to work for his family and provide healthy food and in a healthy environment, clean air, clean water? Everybody wants that. The Democrat Party. So Robert's talking about a political realignment is happening, and I think he's absolutely right. I think his friends call him Bobby. I'm going to stop calling him Robert. So not only does he have the opportunity to draw in people that would probably have never voted Republican, and I mean kind of like the old hippie folks. They were very much into diet, into healthy food. They weren't just a bunch of druggies. They were into yoga. They were into health. They were into definitely clean environment, anti-nuke, all of that stuff. That whole crowd was like that. And I think they are absolutely going to give Trump another look, a second look. And I love how Robert said in the blue states, it doesn't matter anyway. But in those blue states, Would you guys please consider voting for Trump even when Robert's still on the ballot? Because I think it does matter. But anyway, the Democrat Party has become the party. It used to be the party of the working class. And I'm not talking about the Dixiecrats. Don't get me wrong. I know who the Dixiecrats are, and it's not who I'm talking about. The Democrat Party in general was the party of the working class. It was the party for the people. It was the it was the party of unions, hard workers, blue collar. And there was a pretty big difference between the white collar and the blue collar folks. And the blue collar folks were all of us. They weren't just teachers and cops. They were teachers, cops, low level lawyers, educators, in general, most of society. His uncle, gotta be careful what I say here. When he proposed cutting the corporate tax rate, and I think he did do it, cutting the corporate tax rate. He was criticized for it, and his answer was, "A rising tide raises all ships." And think about that for a minute. If the big corporation, and I'm not talking about the conglomerates we have nowadays with antitrust not being enforced. I'm talking about the corporations back in the day that still paid a pension, still took care of the money that people put away for savings. But when those companies made more money, it definitely trickled down to us. It trickled down. Yes, I believe in trickle down economics. I believe that a rising tide raises all ships. And I believe that folks who care about folks, if you will, for lack of a better term, want people to be able to get a boat. A rising tide raises all ships. They want people to be able to make a boat, buy a little bitty boat. And as that tide rises, that tide of capitalism rises, their boats get better and better. That's what this country is about. That's what JFK was about. That's what Robert Kennedy still believes in, Bobby Kennedy. And it's certainly what Trump believes in. So Tulsi left the Democrat Party for the exact same reasons Robert did. I keep saying Bobby, RFKJ. I love how Megan said that, RFKJ. And she came out yesterday supporting Trump. Isn't that awesome? Have you guys seen the meme of her standing at attention? Standing at attention with her medals on her over here, with her medals on her shirt, and she's standing there at attention. And Bobby Kennedy posted that she's standing there in her uniform, and he says, "Wonder Woman has just joined the Justice League." I love that. You know what? Is my mic on? It is not. I forgot to plug up my mic, guys. Let me do that real quick. Hold on a second. One moment. Hold on. And there we go. All right. Sorry about that. That's probably better. So, Wonder Woman has just joined the Justice League. I think that is amazing. I was so excited. It was so funny. And then, of course, we got the dance meme. If you haven't seen that, look it up. Trump and Elon dancing to Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees, Staying Alive. And then they added RFK after he came on board. And yesterday they added Tulsi, Vivek, Tucker, and JD Vance. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely look it up. I don't have the link, but definitely check it out. It's they're all doing an amazing dance. It's AI generated, of course, and it's hilarious. So before I leave this political realignment topic, Tammy Bruce had also said that the Kennedy folks, the Kennedy family, has always circled around. No matter what a family member had done, they always came, circled the wagons, and made sure that, the family stuck together, and they supported whoever had a problem in Chappaquiddick and whoever had a problem in West Palm Beach with a golf club and whatever was going on, they supported them completely. Except RFK. He has the temerity to vote, to align himself with not just the Republican Party, but that vile, terrible creature, Trump. And it just is another example of Trump derangement syndrome, isn't it? That got me to thinking, and it got me to thinking about Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them who call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. What happens when a society does that? It starts to break down. When you start calling evil good, you've got a real problem. W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats, wrote a poem that was, it's called The Second Coming. And I think it was amazingly prescient. He died in, I think, the 30s. Here it is. Here's the first paragraph of it. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Excuse me. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Does it make you think of Antifa? Does that make you think of people of the innocent being harmed nowadays? And I won't even think about going into the details there. But, Trump was very, very much about trying to save a lot of kids, a lot of people. And I can't go into it here, but those of you who have been paying attention know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, look it up. Look up the work that his administration did to help save people in trouble. So that's what you get when you call evil good. The best lack all conviction. Those of us who care and can probably make a difference, we begin to self-censor. We begin to pull away. We begin to be afraid that we're going to be canceled, that they're going to come after us, they're going to arrest us. We begin to self-censor and draw away from society. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Yeah, I just think it's an amazing example of what happens to society when you call evil good and darkness light. So switching from there to the topic of John Rich and this controversy going on with scoffers in the end times. So John Rich has got a song out. It's called Revelation. It's a really good video. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about John Rich. He's obviously a Christian. He is a very successful musician. I'm a musician. I come from that world a little bit. Been a long time, but I was in that world for a while. And again, I'm not saying anything bad about him, but he made comments on an interview with Tucker that really disturbed me. And it was basically saying that anyone who believed in the rapture, the pre-trib rapture, were heretics. That might not be exactly what he said, but he basically implied that, and that there was a conspiracy that started with John Nelson Darby and C.I. Scofield back in the day. And if you're a member of Tucker's network, go check out the interview and you see exactly what I'm talking about. Well, here's my problem. The people that are scoffing at those of us who believe in an end time rapture, they're really getting kind of ugly about it. And it's become quite a dust up. The definition of the word scoff is someone who jeers or mocks or treats something with contempt or calls out in derision. I mentioned that earlier. It's a rough word. So them doing this is so wrong on so many levels. First, they say that we're gleeful at the soon return of Jesus because we're glad when things get bad, because things have to get bad before Jesus returns. That's not how we think at all. Yes, we're absolutely amazed at the prophecies that are coming true, that all began with Israel becoming a nation again in 1948. May 14th, 1948. To the day, Daniel's prophecy coming true. To the day. 1200, anyway, prophetic years. Anyway, to the day. Israel becomes a nation, and the end times prophecy take on a whole new color, a whole new flavor. Things really begin to start to make sense. Previous to that, the early church did, John Rich didn't understand this, but early church fathers did believe in the rapture. They absolutely believed in the imminent return of Jesus Christ at any time. I'm checking the time. Keep me going here. And that's one of the things that people that follow this controversy and the protocols, I can't say it. There's a book out that I believe is completely from the pit of hell. I don't believe it's true. And it has caused a lot of Jew hatred, a lot of prejudice. And I think this is kind of tied in with that. I don't know that for a fact, but it's caused a lot of problems in other areas. But this controversy that John Nelson Darby started the belief system about the rapture, it's just not true. It's just not true. And I'm going to read y'all some scriptures real quick. First of all, John 14, and I've got 14:3, but the one right before it is, in my Father's house there are many mansions. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, so that where I am, you may be also. A lot of people's favorite verse in the Bible. So he's going to come back and get us. Matthew 24:31. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Thessalonians 4:16-18. And this is most rapture believing people's favorite verse. This is it. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Well, that's always been a little trippy to think about. But here's the verse that really gets most of us, and it's where the word rapture comes from. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Who's in the clouds? The dead that rose first. To meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. Encourage one another. We are so looking forward to Jesus coming, but it doesn't mean we don't occupy until that time. We were given the Great Commission when he rose from the dead, when he rose up to heaven. He told Peter, feed my sheep. Do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know I love you. Feed my sheep. And a third time, probably to make up for the 3 times he denied him before the rooster crowed at dawn. Jesus told us to go out and make disciples of all nations. Those of us who believe in a pre-trib rapture believe that is the most important part of our life, to make believers of all nations. The other thing that upsets me about this controversy that says we're heretics, we're just looking for a ticket out of here. We just want, hey, Anthony, yep, we're back. I had to redo it. I got kicked out. It was only 3 minutes, and I know what I said wrong, trying to stay away from that stuff. But I'm in the middle of my rapture talk right now. So 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 says, understand this, that in the last days scoffers will come scoffing and indulging their own lusts, saying, where is the promise of his coming? For ever since our ancestors died, all things continued as they were from the beginning of creation. So those verses I was reading you, that Jesus is coming back, that it's going to come with the voice of the archangel, the blowing of a loud trumpet, and we're going to hear, come up here. That's in Revelation 4. The other thing that bothers me about them saying that this is heresy, and that where did I write it down? To say that we are gleeful about bad stuff happening is to take away from the verse that this is our blessed hope. I believe that's in Timothy. I don't have my notes gathered as well as I should, but I believe, let's see what we got here. So the thought of Jesus coming at any minute for any one of us doesn't make us just want to ticket out of here. It doesn't make us not care about the planet. It doesn't make us not go to PTA meetings, not vote, not care what's going on in society. No, we care twice as much, because we know it could happen at any moment. And we want everyone to be saved. Everyone. So this controversy, and it's growing. That's why I'm bringing this up tonight. Not only with John Rich, but it's been growing for a while. And there's a lot of work out there right now trying to refute this heresy. A lot of pastors will not talk about the end times. A lot of pastors will not even touch the rapture. But it wasn't preached thoroughly between around 300 AD and 1948, because the end time prophecies didn't make sense when Israel had been scattered throughout the world from 70 AD. They didn't make sense. The early church fathers still believed in it, but they didn't quite get it. And if you read their work, it's very fascinating. That deal about, I'm kind of going back to where I was before, that we wouldn't be good stewards of the earth, that we wouldn't care about society if all we believe is that we're going to be out of here any minute now. It's just so untrue. God gave us dominion over the earth. And in that context, it meant care, that we're to care to be good stewards of our planet. And I think I'm repeating myself now. Okay, good. So the prophecy's not making sense until Israel became a nation again. Read Ezekiel 37. Read the dry bones prophecy. That was absolutely fulfilled on May 14th. The Balfour Declaration. There are so many. I know where I was going a second ago. There are so many prophecies about the end times that are now being fulfilled right in front of our eyes. I was listening to a guy I don't listen to all the time, but I was kind of refreshing my ideas on this thought. And he was talking about how it really picked up in 1948, that all of a sudden the end times prophecies began to make sense. And here's one for you. Daniel. At the end of Daniel, he's confused about all the visions he's seen and what's happening. And he asked the angel, I just don't get it. And the angel said, shut up the words, Daniel. They're not for you. They're for the end times. And I'm paraphrasing here. But in that time, knowledge will increase and people will run to and fro. Well, I believe that means that knowledge that will increase is knowledge of prophecy. That all those visions Daniel was seeing were going to begin to make sense. And for the folks that are here after the church is raptured, it's all going to come true, in my opinion, literally. I really believe that. I said that also last week, that I take the Bible literally, every word of it. And of course, I don't take metaphor literally. Metaphor is obvious. When Jesus knocks on the door of our heart, does my heart have a door? No. He's wanting to get into my spirit. He wants to come in and sup with me. So anyway, so now I'm starting to get towards my end of my 30 minutes. But this controversy about the pre-trib rapture, please look at it. Please look it up. Another one I wanted to plug a few channels here. One is for all my girl friends out there. Please check out Modern Day Abigail's on anywhere you get your podcasts. They're fantastic. And I don't know if plugging channels is not allowed. So I'm going to try it. And hopefully this one will still be up all the way through. I don't know if I can say that. So I guess I just better stop on the plugging. The one I think can plug a book though, and that is Jonathan Cahn just wrote another book about what's the name of it? Oh goodness gracious! It is not in my paperwork here. Oh my goodness! Here we go. It should be right here. No, it's not. Goodness gracious. Okay, I'll have that for you next week, Jonathan Cahn's book, but I believe it's The Dragon's something. Anyway, I have it next week. Jonathan Cahn's newest book, Mondo Gonzalez, Prophecy Watchers, and I want to plug Abigail's, Modern Day Abigail's. That's my pastor's wife on that channel. He's not. We don't go to their church, but he's my pastor. So that's all I'm going to talk about tonight. This controversy is a little spooky. Oh, I left out one thing. The fact that there's a whole lot of pushback against this now, I believe is also an end time prophecy, because as evil grows in the end times, as we get closer and closer to the revealing of the Antichrist, the one who is going to head the one world government, who is going to cause all to worship him, great and small. He's going to cause all to receive a mark on their hand or forehead, and they will not be able to buy or sell without the mark, Revelation 13. That as we get closer and closer to that, well, why would he want us to look forward to our blessed hope? Why would he want us to be in great expectation that it could happen at any moment? Because what happens? We live a more holy life. If we're in great expectation that Jesus could come at any minute, I don't want to get caught with my pants down. And I don't mean that literally, or maybe I do. I want to be going about my Father's business. I want to be as holy as I can be. Do I fall short every day? Do I have to pray for forgiveness every day? But you know what, guys? It's our blessed hope. He's coming back for us, and we're going to be with him for all eternity. So right here, right now, tell your friends about it. Tell everyone you know. This is good stuff. This is the communism we want to be a part of. This is the real kingdom of God. It's Jesus on his throne and us serving with him. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys next time. Take care. Let's see. In stream. I'm kind of shiny here, aren't I? I'm not sweating tonight. I'm just shiny. Take care, guys. Bye.